Welcome to my market commentary for the third quarter of 2022. The quarter through June, July and August was once more extremely volatile. At the start of 2022, equity and bond markets all around the world started to tumble, as we know. Now, the reason behind this was twofold in our view. Firstly, central banks such as the Bank of England, European Central Bank and US Federal Reserve had all decided to leave the taps on full in terms of widening monetary policy. Secondly, one of the world's largest energy suppliers chose to invade one of the world's largest grain suppliers. These two factors combined to bring about inflation on a scale that a whole generation has never experienced before. This has led central banks to try and sell back the vast quantities of bonds and equities that they bought from markets during the pandemic, at the same time as increasing interest rates, thus narrowing the money supply quite dramatically. In turn, global markets have become completely fixated with central bank policy announcements. Now, we started this quarter with several key equity markets down by more than 20% from last year's peak. Fixed interest securities or bonds have also fallen excruciatingly in price, as bonds hate aggressive interest rate rises. Our view at Thomas & Thomas was that central bankers will reach a point where they appreciate that their actions are helping to cause recession. This point will probably coincide with a cooling off of inflation, either when hostilities end in Ukraine or at least more deals in regards to gas and grain exports can be struck. This is still our view. Once central bankers stop aggressively hiking interest rates, or termed as pivoting, we expect to see a strong rebound back for bond and equity markets. The million-dollar question is, when will this happen? From around the middle of July, we saw a notable reduction in bond yields in both the US and UK. We got excited by this, as we could see the positive impact this might have on bond and even equity markets. These falls in yields were an early indicator of recovery, caused by the expectation that central banks were now at the point of pivoting away from aggressive rate rises. The recovery then followed in August, as markets in the US and Japan especially switched up a gear. Now, had I been preparing this latest quarterly review only a week ago, we would possibly have been celebrating the start of a meaningful and sustained rebound. However, on Friday, the chair of the US Federal Reserve spoke to global markets with a very strong message that interest rates will keep rising. This took the air out of the recovery tyres and pushed world markets back down, especially hurting bonds. There is, however, something very encouraging in amongst all of this. In a strange way, we've been offered a glimpse of what comes next for markets once interest rates and inflation calm down. Now, inflation figures run across 12 months. This is really important to remember. Fuel prices at the pump were rising exponentially towards the end of last year, at the same time as the Great Reopening saw everyone rushing out to buy new cars, houses, holidays and conservatories. These rampant increases all feed into the 12-month number. I wonder if just maybe the inflation numbers start to fall as this data drops out of the average. I do hope that you enjoy your quarterly review. Things are improving, and I do see a bright future for your investment portfolio in due course. In the meantime, my very best wishes indeed, and Katie, Bethan and I are here if you need anything at all.